All right, Destined Rivals is going really insane. Ignore this price points. So much has happened in the last, like, I don't know, 12 hours, 24 hours. I actually got a message from someone who went in Discord and told me about, like, yeah, it's happened last night, so I looked at it. But Destined Rivals is at 468 now. There's one cheaper seller. But this was at like 391 yesterday. Even if you counted some of the higher price sellers, that's at 420. Like this has gone up like $50 or more overnight. And I know there's a buyouts because last night I saw this. Like I saw when like I saw the 700 creep up. When you see this sort of thing, you know that like people are trying to manipulate the price to make it rise up. But yeah, you like number of sales. I just want to see the price rise. So you see like the 380s, 420s, whatever, and this is where it starts to pick up at 440. 440, 445. Then like all of them at 450 is kind of a fine price. Then you see a few more like 470 and then close to 500. That's also kind of okay-ish for this market, but then you get to like really high prices like past 500 to here. So this is where the manipulation definitely was happening. You could tell because these are just way too high. You could buy booster box cases for a lower price than that. Then the prices kind of normalized all of a sudden, back at 400, and now I don't know what's gonna happen. This is a very volatile booster box. Demand has basically doubled, like 54 sold, so a lot sold. Usually it's around like the 20s, so it's double that. Generally, Destin Riles booster box, you see so much activity. So many have been bought lately, and yeah, I'm not really sure where it's gonna go. It's really insane. Pokemon definitely has this on their radar, and who knows what they're gonna do about it. And then for cases, yesterday when I checked, they're actually 3,100. I see its other seller posted this one, but I guess they're technically about the same. But yeah, like the gap shrank really quickly. Where like cases are still technically 500 each, and these are 470. So yeah, this doesn't look like anytime soon. Unless we see a bunch of demand drop after its big buyouts. Like people are still buying cases, people are still buying booster boxes. Like cases over here, two sold yesterday, one sold today. After this one it goes to 3,100, and yeah, there's just not a lot of supply in the market. PCTBs are 360, and one sold yesterday, but eight sold today. So the demand has picked up. Card followers still has their 10. Eventually, people are gonna make plays on this just because that's the routes get so expensive. Booster ETBs are 110. Sold 14 yesterday, pretty good. They're heading toward 115 pretty quickly. And the booster bundles at $54. This will get really interesting. If these rise a lot, it'll just mean Destined Rivals packs in general are really expensive. And then those collection boxes that have Destined Rivals are definitely going to be worth a lot more. But 15 sold yesterday, so the demand kind of dropped for this. Yeah, it's not really rising as much. Booster bundles really don't rise as much, but they're about $9 a pack, and then cases are $14 a pack, and then booster boxes are $13 a pack. So let me know how you think this is gonna go. All right, 151 still doing crazy things. So I've been covering the Snorlax promo, and it finally broke $20. It's now at $22. I saw the first price. I was like, why do I have the feeling it actually went up this time? So it's heading to $23. Like these little margins do make a difference because it just brings more FOMO into the 151 market at the minimum, and definitely raises the price of the things. Like the ETBs will be worth a little more. But yeah, the the demand kind of doubled to like around 50 back to around 115, so there's a big buyout of these, and this only takes so much. There's only so many of these in the world. I don't know how long this can really last before it just really rises. Definitely a lot of people will want this in the future. It's just a nice card to have, and the PCTB one's gonna be super expensive. Bullying Waters is still going crazy, so the price, if you look at it, it's still technically the same as yesterday, but three sold yesterday, but after that you see it goes to 187, 190. I mentioned this before. Billion Wars is just going really crazy. It kind of matches the price per pack appropriately, but yeah, 190 is like right here, and then like around 195 or 200 is like pretty close over there. Blue Wars shouldn't be as valuable as some other things. Like even at like I remember talking yesterday. I was like, hey, if it's 200 and divide by 12 packs, that's 1666 a pack, and as loose packs a rise, it kind of makes sense. But usually we don't see this sort of it doesn't always like accelerate all the way to pack price yet. Usually there's some sort of lag time, so it's just kind of a weird phenomenon right now. But yeah, but it still kind of makes sense. The pack price and the blooming wards is still kind of within like a dollar or two of each other. That's usually the case. um, for packs, yeah, packs are, I mentioned like they keep rising, and I'm just eyeing the next price points. You look at this, like I wrote like they were $16 yesterday, and they're basically like 16.25 now. There's only like these 14 packs, and you get 16.25, and over here there's like about 50 packs around 16.25. Then it goes to 16.50. After that, there's 10 packs. It goes to $17. So this is accelerating really fast. Like with all the rip and ships any packs, like this is like nothing. Um, I really don't know how far this will go. The number of packs still is only 38, so pack demand is kind of dropping. But yeah, it's just getting 151 now. It's a little scary because the prices just keep rising. So honestly, getting like any deal on Facebook Marketplace, avoiding some taxes. Like I bought some booster balls yesterday for like 85 each, and just the price per pack, I was like, well, I mean, it's better than loose packs. Like eventually, I'll have to pay that much per pack for a loose pack. That's like 14 or $15 a pack. Um, for UPCs, demand picked up, so it kind of like doubled in the last few days. So six sold yesterday compared to only like one to two last few days. A lot of them were around $600. I thought the price would rise, but didn't. But you see a lot of like $600 ones. So I don't really know what happened with that, but yeah, it's been trying to break 60 and it hasn't. So a lot of the high dollar 151 items haven't been doing as well. People are targeting more the lower dollar items. Booster bundles. Um, Sold 19 yesterday. It dropped to about 97 just because of this one seller. Otherwise, it goes straight back to 100. These have been pretty stable around 100, but there really isn't a lot of supply except for this seller here who has 9, which they're booster bundles, so it's not really that much. The ETBs are still selling like 2 to 4 per day. Just having a hard time breaking past like 415. PCTB is very stagnant. Only one sale since September like 13th or 14th. And I don't know, like it'll eventually rise, but people are hitting some sort of limit at 151. Like the franticness is definitely in the smaller items, and I mean it makes sense because like it's lower risk. Like the pack price is just gonna keep rising versus these other items. It's really expensive, hard to get, so it kind of just varies. For booster bundle displays, yeah, demand keeps rising for these. One did sell yesterday at about 1800, and these are just hanging back up. These are around like 16 now. It's around the same price as yesterday for the lower price ones, but yeah, these are doing pretty well. The price per pack for these is $27 a pack, which is quite a big premium, but people are still paying it just because it's 151. Posters are finally 45 again officially. 6 sold yesterday, so there's just some cheaper ones. People finally bought it because it just makes sense at $15 a pack. It's kind of tied with Bluing Warriors right now at that lower price points. Bluing Warriors does definitely seem a little more popular, and it's just crazy seeing these. Like this used to be booster bundle pricing. We are getting close to Bluing Waters and booster bundles being the same price though on TCG Player, which is interesting. So booster bundles might be a little undervalued. I know for Crown Zenith, the booster bundles worth significantly more than the pack price, so we're not actually quite there yet. So booster bundles are actually pretty cheap right now when you really think about it. For Huntington displays, they sold 2 yesterday. They've been selling more lately. I think that these are going to continue to rise. Um, you're just seeing like 350 go to $400 really quickly. And then for binders, you see one sold yesterday, still around the same price. All right, Crown Zenith booster bones keep rising, so they're at 122 now. I mentioned yesterday how they're actually heading toward 130. If you look at the price points, there's only 3 left, and it goes straight to 130. So this is one of the biggest price drops we've seen in a while. Even like getting to 140 and 150 is very close by. So you have pretty interesting phenomenon with Crown Zenith booster bundles. And I really, yeah, this makes me really think that 151 booster bundles are pretty undervalued. Crown Zenith is doing this sort of thing. And then for the loose packs, only sold 2 yesterday. I'm just going to see if those a little more sold. Not really. And the pack price is still hovering around, like you see 14.20 over here. There's 40 packs. Then it goes like kind of toward 14.50 and then like $15. So most of the packs are still around $50. Just some cheaper ones. I feel like if this seller just lowered their pack quantity a little bit, they could possibly like raise the price a little bit. But oh well. I get it with loose packs. You kind of want some all at once, save on shipping and stuff. ETBs are still heading to around I think 240. One sold yesterday. And you just see, yeah, the price rise to 240 over here, and just a few more ETBs for Crown Zenith. PCTBs finally one sold yesterday after it keeps kind of trolling me, not selling for 3 days straight, and as it's heading to our 500 now it's going back. There's a pretty cheap one here for about 450, 460. Then it goes back to about like 490, 485. So cheap one right there. And then Seeing Sky is still selling only like 1 per day. Not really doing that well because JM Sneakers is kind of still trying to listed at only 210. But Crown Zenith's pack price has been kind of stagnant, so that's the main reason people buy it. So it kind of makes some sense. But yeah, the bundles are up $2, and yeah, you see that the bundles are still worth a good amount of premium over the loose packs. You're not seeing that 151, so I think that will happen eventually. All right, Paldean Fates booster mode display demand is doubling, so you see very few sales in September until recently. So August 30th was the day that, or August 29th was the last day there were sales, and then there was like 3 random ones in the middle of September. And then you see 5 sold September 19th, and then 3 sold yesterday. And the price is up about, I think, 10 or like it's up $15. I've been seeing more activity with 151. I think eventually people will pick this up as Paldean Fates packs are or at least like some of the like items are more expensive, so people will pick these up eventually just because of the price difference. I wouldn't really count 151. I still think it's kind of like more goated right now, but definitely people will find it like a play because the 151 bundle displays are still heading back up to like the 1600s, 1700s. Bundle display bundles, loose bundles sold 13 yesterday, 69 on the market. Always a really low amount of bundles, and let's see, where's the next price point? Still 115 is really close by. We're not able to resupply these, so there really aren't a lot of these. These are more scarce. 4 packs, more packs sold yesterday. 23 sold yesterday. Plus, I see 6 more sold today. But the pack price is still hovering around like 1545, 1550. There's a lot of packs over here at 1548, so there's 300, which is keeping the pack price down. ETB demand is kind of rising. You see, it was only selling 1 to 2, and then now it's selling about 3 the last 2 days. And so these are still trying to pick $300. Still quite a few of them under 300. PCTB sold 1 yesterday, 1 day before that. Demand has been kind of so-so, but I am starting to see a breakout of the 500 mark. There's these 2 sellers, and it goes it's like 505, 515. All right, Prismatic is really going crazy, so ignore this price point over here. This is probably just a scam seller or just an incorrect listing. This is way too cheap for an ETP case. But yeah, ETP cases have risen pretty much to 2,000. So I've been calling this out the other day. I was like, hey, there's not a lot on the market. With all this being bought, like, you think they're not really printing these anymore? They printed a lot of Costco things, but ETP cases are super rare. And yeah, ETP cases now at pretty much 2,000. 1950 at these high numbers, kind of close enough. But then after that, it goes to 2100, 2200. I don't really know where these will go to. Trading Card World has a ton of these. And yeah, they're half the price selling about 2,200. But Prismatic is going really crazy. A lot of the day has been supporting that. So I'll just go through that. The highest listed sale was today about 1,700, but we'll see if anyone buys it around the $2,000 price. Like $2,000 pretty much $200 at ETB. Even at the 1951, it's 195 at ETB. ETBs have risen to 135. They're actually heading toward 140. And yeah, the recovery of these has just been great. Like just mentioned just a week ago, these are around like 110. Yesterday they rose to 132. Now 135. They're like really blowing past all the reprints down pressure that Pokemon sent us, because you look at the graph, this was sort of like the peak after release. It was around 140. That's basically where we are. It's all this was like reprint territory where like they reprinted so many ETBs. And see over like I guess that's roughly here. It's about 140, and that's only like what, like 10 ETBs until 140. Really not that much. EV promos are selling really well as well. I've been seeing this already in 151s. Like the Snorlax promo just broke $20 down to 22. EV promos getting a lot of buyouts. It's selling like, it might even be better than Snorlax promo considering the timing difference. And then yeah, it's selling like 70 to 100 per day most days. Hasn't really risen that much, but yeah, with all these sold, as ECVs rises, like this is definitely gonna go up. They're gonna kind of support each other. Like people are gonna value the promo more. It's gonna raise ETB prices. Blah blah blah. Bundles have risen to 63. I think I should have gotten more of these when I could. I think there's still some people selling them, maybe around 55 or whatever. But yeah, bundles demand did drop from like super hundreds, like 130, like 250, 180, like really high 100 numbers to 96. And I don't know, like I was like, don't hold your breath on these, but these are already kind of rising. Usually they won't rise past 70, but like just just the fact that they're rising is really nice. It does have a price tag of 64, but yeah, don't hold your breath in like the $60 to $70 range. But yeah, just rising to there is really good because like, I was able to pick up some for like $50 each. So just a really good deal based on that. SBCs, I didn't really, I missed out on watching his Rudy video until like just yesterday. And I didn't know that he mentioned that he bought a million, like, I forgot, it's like $1,000 or something of $1 million or 1,000 of something. But yeah, I'll link it in this video description. But yeah, he writes like Prismatic, and he says that he bought enough of it because it didn't really perform that well and it was really undervalued. I'll let you guys watch it because I'm not really summarizing this really well, but based on what he said, like I think it's the SBC. I think I saw some comments about SBC. Like I'm just giving you my take on it. I would say, yeah, this was really shocking to me when this went down to about 200 or 190. This was kind of the bottom because when you think about it, like MSRP is like roughly like $100, and like like okay, think of Prismatic ETP. MSRP is $50, and then double that is $100. Seems kind of cheap, right? Um, Especially right now when it's risen back to 140. But yeah, when I was getting like Prismatic HPs for like 85.90, I was like, wow, this seems so cheap for Prismatic. Like it's really like a low risk compared to other things. And for Prismatic SPCs, like, oh, 200. That's only double, like same concept. And like this is gonna do well. Like I've been talking about different Prismatic items of like, hey, maintain displays versus like SPCs. Like maintenance, like SPCs or items do better. Like for 151, the maintenance displays are finally rising, and mostly just because the price per pack is appropriate. Versus the SPCs right now, they'll double the loose pack price for Prismatic, which is about like actually it's more than double. But let's say it's around $10. Like the bundle price is $10, it's double that. It's $20. So like the promos aren't even as good, and so yeah, it was just really weird to see it drop so much. And so yeah, I think that's part of the reason why it rose. It's also like one of the first Prismatic items to kind of rise recently. Like looking through the data, I was like, it kind of started. Like the ETB and the SVC have been rising so much as other things. Like packs are still pretty cheap. Packs are like kind of rose back up to like 875 today, but they're still like in the cheap range. I've seen it happen 151 over and over again since I track this every day. Like the other items rose way more and had more exciting news. Um, and then the Pokemon Center ETBs, they sold 6 yesterday, and they kind of slowed down a little bit. They were around like I think 410, 415 yesterday. And so they kind of slowed down, but everyone knows that people are also going to target this. They're just kind of pricey, but this is definitely something people are going to target. They're down about $11. They were at like 515 yesterday. Super premium collections, yeah, they're up to 315 now. Like they were just under 300, so they broke that 315. The the price ladder for super premium collections, like it goes to 330 pretty quickly, and then 350. So these are rising really really fast. Um, and then the loose packs, number of packs sold was, I think it was about 108 packs sold yesterday, 66 bought today, and it, yeah, you can't really see in the graph. But yeah, the price is still creeping up to like $9. It's really impressive for Prismatic, considering that they dumped so much on it. These booster button displays, none of them sold, so um, they're still around 1,500. And then these maintain displays, they sold two, and they're still just hovering. Like I don't think these are gonna necessarily rise that much, just because there's like a competing product with the Costco bundle right now. But they are definitely something interesting to get. They will like go up, but um, not as much as some other things. And the Lucario boxes, they're around 117 right now, sold 15 yesterday. They're just kind of maintaining somewhere around this like 110 to 120 range. Not really sure where they'll be more stable at. But if you just want loose packs, like honestly, buying Prismatic now in general, it kind of depends on what you can get. There's some more strategic things than others, but depends kind of what your opportunities are. But right now, like they're really cheap. You can still get these for $100, depending on your play. Like it could be a pretty good deal or a pretty good opportunity compared to some other things. And SPC, I think I forgot to mention. I think demand kind of has been kind of double lately as well. Ever since the ever since like a few days ago, it's been selling about 20 per day, versus before it was selling about 10 per day. So it's really picked up recently. All right, Mega Evolution keeps rising. So the booster box is at 320 now. There's There's about less than 1,000 available. Demand is still pretty good, so 54 so yesterday. Adding it up with the other booster box, which is a little cheaper, 56, so that's still like over 100 boxes per day. It does seem like it's slowing down a little bit, but you see like this one over here, 320 goes to 333. Quite a big rise. So people have been buying this other box more just because it's cheaper probably. But it even rose 3 to 300. There's still a price discrepancy, and like the cheaper one went up $20, and then the more expensive one went up $6 than yesterday. Bundles still stupidly go up. Like they're supposed to go down, but they're gonna crash. But like, yeah, booster bundles $11 per pack, 67. Who's buying these? Um, Cases though, like you're still seeing cases are still really cheap, 271 a box. They haven't really moved at all. So these prices are going to probably come down at release. They're going to be kind of volatile for a while. For ETB, still about 94, 95. I've seen it slowly drop from about 100. So not a huge drop. They'll probably drop at release. 60 sold yesterday. PCTBs still selling. One sold yesterday, one sold today. Everyone still sells at 400. um, yeah, booster bundles still selling even at this higher price point. Still sold 80 yesterday, and I guess it's mostly a supply thing. All these There's not a lot of supply for bundles right now, so all the prices are super inflated. But people are paying it because they don't know better. And then cases sold 3 yesterday, 1 today. So cases still selling kind of decent. There's only 32 left. Of course, this will go up later, but everyone still undercuts each other. So yeah, I want to see how much cases drop at release and maybe pick them up. All right, Journey Together is finally at 250, so it's tied with Scarlet Violet Base now, and yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. At this rate, Scarlet Violet Base might be the cheapest booster box instead of Journey Together. Nine so yesterday, you see that the demand has generally been rising to kind of like 6 to 9 per day. The price ladder isn't really good. All these prices are around 250, so I don't know if it's gonna rise soon, but there's very little supply. All these only have one box except for another seller. But yeah, rising 250 is pretty good. We'll see where it goes from then on. Cases are still selling, so cases have risen to 15, 20. They're selling about 2 per day, so really good demand. RJ Breaks, one of the more sellers of more supply. They listed boxes at a higher price now, but now this other seller listed 5 cases. So they see how this goes, but this case is still really, really cheap. So I think people will pick it up more. And then right now, the non-enhanced booster box is actually less expensive than the enhanced booster box. 2 sold yesterday, and I think eventually supply will kind of dry up and people will list at the higher price probably. JM Seekers is here, so who knows? They try to undercut everyone. PCTB sold 2 yesterday, and they're heading toward 210, 215. In the other case, no sales because it's too expensive. But yeah, if you look at the price ladder, like yeah, booster box is up $5. Cases are still really, really cheap because if you look at this, it's up $35, but still only 253 a booster box versus booster boxes are now about like 250 already. So cases still really cheap with that. Like people are gonna buy up a lot during Together supply. All right, Black Bolt White Flare demand numbers. So PCTBs are just hanging around 250 for Black Bolt, only selling about 1 per day, something too crazy. So maybe the price rises kind of stopped. It only goes up to like 255, 260. Now it's a little more stagnant all of a sudden. The White Flare one barely went up at all. It's still around 200, not a lot of sales. Still think that there's a buying opportunity for this, potentially just because of the price difference. But yeah, not a lot of interest in this ETB, unfortunately. For normal ETBs, Black Bolt's at about 88. Yeah, it can't really break $90. Sold at 14 yesterday. It's kind of normalish, nothing too crazy. For the bundles, they sold about 54. They're about $55 now. So the bundles are really the interesting thing because they're kind of the crux. Like it shows that there's still a good amount of demand for this product. So 30 sold yesterday. As bundle prices go up, then we'll see other things go up. And then for ETBs for White Flare, also pretty stagnant at $82. Sold 17 yesterday, which is also kind of normal. At least it's maintaining like double digits. And then the White Flare bundles also, that's what I'm looking for. $51, pretty good. Seeing demand go up from like 20 to 30. So I think that people do want to open set, like based on bundle demands, people like opening this to some extent. And I think it will keep the prices back up a little faster than Journey Together did, hopefully. Alright, Final Fantasy keeps dropping, so the collector boxes are down to 1175, and I don't know if I did the math wrong yesterday. I think I might have because this is manual, but these are down to 7700, so that's $200 down from yesterday. It's possible that this was actually 7700, so it actually went down $200 anyway. But yeah, this is really cheap. Like you're seeing just huge price discrepancies. Like collector box at 97 a pack, cases 107, and the loose packs 123. This really is like the most interesting things how loose packs have been so consistent. Mostly because like it's just a huge arbitrage opportunity. Like it's just like I guess like there's other money making opportunities, but like if you're doing rip and ships, like I mentioned yesterday, like it's just an obvious sort of thing. Like you could just resell the packs for way more. So I think that's what some of the stores are doing. You do see collector box demand go back up to like the 20s. So it hasn't really done that in a while. It's been pretty stagnant around like, up to like 10 to 13. So we're starting to see demand pick up. This one, it does go back up to around 19, about 1200 if you just go up a little bit. But yeah, this Kraken Keep cards has a bunch of cheap ones available right now for collector boxes. And then for cases, yeah, despite prices going down, no cases sold. Like you're seeing the gap widen. Like September 9th to September 16th, that's about a week. We're approaching like the week mark as well now, so we'll see if cases actually do sell. A lot of sellers are probably going to start undercutting each other even more. For loose packs, they sold 7 yesterday. You're still like barely keeping up like close to 10, like 7 to 10 packs a day, maybe a little more. Just really impressive that the pack price is maintaining. I wonder what would happen if MVP Sports and Games in like undercut everyone at 123. Mega packs are at 134. Still kind of maintaining that price point. Seriously, yesterday, sees like more days of adding sales recently. Definitely lower Final Fantasy demand. Uh, Japanese still around 690. Yeah, selling worse than before, unfortunately. So one sold yesterday, and yeah, we're probably not gonna break 700 at this rate, especially with Final Fantasy being like looked down upon now. Um, Play boxes at 237. They're down quite a bit actually. 13 sold yesterday, and just a cheaper seller selling 6 of them. Otherwise, it goes back to about 260. For cases, they're about 1470 now. They sold one case yesterday, sold about 8 cases on the market. So they're always keeping like less, like 10 or less cases on the market, which is pretty good. It helps keeps the price point a little higher. But yeah, the collector boxes are down 25. Collector box cases down 200. Mega packs up $1. Play box down 15. Play box cases up $5. And then the gift bundles, yeah, they're still around 200. They regularly go back to 210. 6 sold yesterday, but seems like they might remain more stagnant around like 202 to 205. Spiderman has just plummeted quite a bit, so it's now at $600. I see over here. A bunch of sellers are selling. We'll see what happens at pre-release. I still kind of agree that like $600 is pretty low. So it really does seem like a dip buying opportunity. Yesterday they were selling for like I see like 625 sales, six. I think there's even like 640 sales, but yeah. And then the demand was still okay. I mean, 53 sold yesterday, 45 today. But yeah, it's not even pre-release, and like people are gonna flood the market with these. And then for play boxes down to 165, like these never really went up. They've been stuck at 180 to 200 for a while. Now they're down, so these are also quite cheap right now. That wraps things up for this video. I hope you walked away with a better understanding of the market. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more deep dives in the Pokemon market. Tell me what's the next big investment you're considering in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all later.